She was a powerful billionaire single mom, but she dropped to her knees in front of a homeless man and begged, "Please, marry me." Everyone stared. Why would a woman with everything propose to a man with nothing? But when he finally lifted his head and calmly replied, "Only if you give me what you stole," the crowd gasped, and her darkest secret was moments from being exposed. Cassandra Blake had everything: a billion-dollar company, a mansion in the hills, and a son the world rarely saw. But beneath the diamonds and designer gowns, she was unraveling. That morning, she stood in the pouring rain, staring down a man the world had forgotten. His beard was unkempt, his coat torn. He clutched a backpack that looked like it had survived 100 storms. "David," she said, her voice barely audible. The homeless man turned. His eyes were colder than the wind. "You've got some nerve," he growled. She stepped closer. Her expensive heels sank into the mud. "Please. I need you. You needed me when you vanished after the funeral. You needed me when you married my brother and never looked back." Her lip trembled. "I was pregnant. I was scared. And now they're trying to take my son." David's laugh was bitter. "Who's they this time?" "The press. Your ex's family." Her throat tightened. "The court. They say I'm unstable. That I've failed as a mother. They want to strip me of everything, unless I can prove I've built a family." David stared, waiting. Then Cassandra did the unthinkable. She fell to her knees in the mud. "Please, marry me." The silence was deafening. "You want me, a man with nothing, to fix your billionaire mess," he said. "I never stopped loving you," she whispered. "You're the only one who ever saw me." David stepped closer. His voice dropped. "You'll give me anything." She nodded. "Yes." He leaned in slowly and said 5 words that turned her blood to ice. "Tell me where he is." Her eyes widened. "David, please. Not here. I searched for him for 2 years. My brother vanished. You never called. Never cared." "I did," she sobbed. "But it was complicated. You left him with nothing, Cassandra. And now you want everything from me." Rain soaked them both. Reporters were already snapping photos from across the street. But Cassandra no longer cared. Then David turned away. And Cassandra whispered through tears, "If you walk away now, I lose my son." David stopped. And without turning around, he said, "Then you better start telling the truth." David did not speak to her for 3 days. Cassandra waited, silently, each morning at the same bench in the park, dressed in black jeans and a plain hoodie, no diamonds, no drivers, no headlines. Just a woman clinging to hope. On the 4th morning, he sat beside her. He said nothing for a long time. Then, finally, "Why now?" She turned slowly, her face pale. "Because I am losing him." David's jaw tightened. "Your son." She nodded. "The court thinks I'm unstable. They see a billion-dollar empire but no husband, no structure. Just power and loneliness. They are using my past, your brother, to break me." David stared ahead. "You married him 2 weeks after our last call. You did not even come to the hospital when he crashed." Tears welled in Cassandra's eyes. He was never supposed to. "I did not mean to disappear, David. But I was pregnant and scared. Your brother promised me protection. I was weak. You chose safety over truth," David said flatly. She turned to him. "You are right. And I am not asking for love. Just a legal marriage. A few months. Just long enough to keep my son. I will give you anything." David stood up. "All right," he said. Cassandra blinked. "Wait, what?" "I said all right. I will marry you." Hope flickered across her face. But then he added, "Under one condition." She braced herself. "You will take me back into your world," he said. "Not as your fake husband. As your shadow. Your mirror. You will not hide me. Not from your son, not from your staff, not from the press." "And," she asked. David's eyes burned into hers. "And for every lie you told, you will pay it back with truth." Cassandra's heart pounded. "Do we have a deal?" He nodded once. "We get married tomorrow. And then, you take me home." But what David found behind the gates of her mansion would expose far more than wealth. It would tear open the one secret Cassandra swore no one would ever know. The marriage was quiet. No press. No guests. Just a paper signed in silence at City Hall. By noon, Cassandra's luxury car pulled up to her mansion, glass walls, marble floors, cameras at every gate. But David was not impressed. He stood barefoot on the marble entryway, his old backpack still slung over his shoulder. "Take it off," she whispered. He frowned. "What?" "The backpack. You can leave it here. You are safe now." But David gripped the strap tighter. "I will decide when I am safe." Her voice caught. "Of course." Inside, everything gleamed. But David noticed the silence first, the cold stillness behind the beauty. No laughter. No warmth. Then he saw him. A little boy, maybe 3 years old, sitting cross-legged on the carpet, playing with a toy truck. His eyes were wide, quiet, watchful. "Luca," Cassandra called gently. The child turned his head. "This is David," she said, forcing a smile. "He's going to stay with us now." Luca nodded once, then looked back at the floor. David crouched. "Hi, little man." The boy did not respond. But David saw something in his face, not fear, but familiarity. Like he had seen him before. Somewhere. That night, David slept in the guest room. The sheets smelled like lavender and money. But sleep never came. His mind raced with questions. At dawn, he wandered downstairs. Cassandra was already in the kitchen, pouring coffee with trembling hands. "I need to ask you something," he said, staring straight into her. She froze. "What is it?" "Your son. Is he mine?" The cup shattered in her hand. "I asked you once," David said, voice firm. "Back when you vanished. I never got an answer." Her lips parted, but no words came. "Cassandra, is Luca my son?" She sank into a chair. I do not know." David's fists clenched. "I was with you," she said. "Then your brother. I was confused, broken. I made mistakes." "You married the wrong brother," David whispered. "I tried to do the right thing. But when he died, I was alone. And I never knew how to face you again." David looked toward the stairs, where little feet padded softly above. "She deserves to know," he said. Cassandra blinked. "Your son is not just a boy," David whispered. "He looks exactly like my sister when she was little. And she is not here anymore. But I remember her face." Cassandra's heart stopped. "You think you know the truth," she whispered. David's voice dropped. "No. I feel it. And tomorrow, we are going to get a test." But neither of them were ready for the results. Because someone else already knew the truth, and they were watching. The DNA test came back 2 days later. David sat in silence as Cassandra handed him the envelope. He opened it slowly, his fingers trembling. Then, he froze. 99.9% match, he read aloud. His breath hitched. "He's mine." Cassandra burst into tears. "I did not know. I swear I didn't. When I found out I was pregnant, your brother claimed the baby was his. He was already preparing the wedding. I was scared, David." David's heart ached. "So you married him, even though you loved me." "I thought it was the only way to keep the baby safe," she sobbed. "But I never stopped thinking about you. I just never believed you would ever forgive me." He looked up at her, his jaw clenched. "This is not about forgiveness. It is about a child who has a right to the truth." That night, David tucked Luca into bed for the first time. The little boy clung to his finger and smiled, as if he had always known. But outside, in the dark, someone watched from a black car. The next morning, Cassandra received a letter. No name. No return address. Just 6 words written in sharp ink. "You married the wrong brother twice." Her hands shook. David took the letter and stared at it. "I know who this is." "Who?" she whispered. He stepped back. "My brother had secrets. Business debts. Dangerous ones. He owed people who don't forget." Cassandra's voice cracked. "Are we in danger?" He nodded. "And we cannot stay here." That night, David packed her and Luca into the same beat-up car he once slept in. They drove for hours, far from the cameras, the mansion, and the headlines. They hid in a coastal town, where no one knew their names. There, David worked at a local mechanic shop, and Cassandra started a new business, not a billion-dollar empire, but something honest, something real. Luca played on the beach, free for the first time. And slowly, a family began to heal. One evening, as the sun dipped below the water, Cassandra turned to David. "You never really answered me," she said softly. He smiled. "What?" She looked into his eyes. "Will you marry me, this time, for real?" David kissed her forehead. "Only if you promise one thing." "What?" "No more secrets. Ever again." Cassandra nodded. "Never again." And as their son laughed in the distance, for the first time in years, they both felt peace, not because of wealth or power, but because of the truth.